Hello, everybody. It is I, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an ascension master, master healer, and divine guide. I am the one who brought about the ascension for the planet. That is very complicated in itself, and if you check out my entire channel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I like to do a little series called Shining Light into the Darkness because that is truly what I came here to do. Everything that I do shines light into the darkness of this planet. I have eliminated the darkness on this planet. And you will continue to see that play out for what that means. Now, during my awakening process, I kept getting nudged to find missing people, to solve crimes, and I didn't know why. It turns out it was actually very necessary in the work that I do because it came up during the ascension for the purpose of the ascension as well. However, I always have enjoyed doing these. I used to want to be a homicide detective, but not a police officer, right? So lo and behold, this is probably why I had the nudge to always do that, why I found joy in doing that and solving people's crimes and wondering what happened to them and why they're doing the things they're doing and being able to rise that out of the collective whole. Okay, so that's really why I do them. This series, I believe I'm more like on volume 18 or 19. I really need to get track of those. I am just on volume number ... right? Still under 20s, but we're getting closer to it. On my Shining Light into the Darkness, What Happened to, Where Is series. Okay. This one I wanted to do on the beautiful person you are seeing in front of you, very vibrant, different colored individual who seemed to have many different personalities by the images we're seeing, Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson is one of the most famous people in the world. He is what they knew as King of Pop, right? Now, why would I be looking into his death? Because he apparently died, right, of a drug overdose. I don't even remember what year he died. A while ago, okay? Let's see if they talk about what year he died. Died on June 25th. Of something or other. Let me see when he died. Supposedly he died in 2009, June 25th of 2009 at age 50. Okay, supposedly. Now, this isn't the first time I've tuned into him. I remember when I first had my awakening, somebody asked me about him, and I'm like, and I told them what I saw. And they're like, what? So here's the thing, okay? I really wanted to know what happened to him because when they asked me a long time ago, how do I put this without people going, what? Yeah, right. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I know I feel like I'm going to cause an uproar by doing this video, but quite honestly, that's okay. And then I went on to Discovery, my only thing I really pay for to watch TV on anymore. And they actually have a show on him now. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just channeled him. I channeled about him today, and now they have a show on him about whether or not he's telling the truth. Okay, so is there coincidences? I don't know. I just thought that was rather strange. So supposedly he was born August 29th, 1958. Okay, so it would be close to his birthday again. It is close to his birthday because I'm going to tell you, he is not on the other side. Now, I remember even watching like that Tyler Henry guy, the psychic for the celebrities channel for his family, and said that he was on the other side. He's not on the other side. This is not the first time I've even got to say that. It's just when I first was asked about him, I really wasn't doing this series. It was during one of my things with another healer, and she's like, what about this person and this person? And I'm like, he is not on the other side. I've never been able to find him on the other side. Okay. He's not. He is not dead. Michael Jackson is still very much so alive. And they told me he goes between Canada and Puerto Rico. Okay. He lives in Canada and he travels to Puerto Rico where he stays sometimes as well. Michael Jackson is not dead. It was staged. He did it to get out of the scrutiny of the public eye. And also, so like, I think what I'm hearing here is like there was a lot of pressure on his shoulders, not just from like the sexual innuendos, but also money. I think he owed a lot of money because he was a man who lived well outside of his means due to the celebrity status. Okay. So here's the thing about him. Here's what I feel about him. What I tune into is he's a lot older now, right? If in 2009 he was supposed to be 50, he's got to be closer to 70s now, I'm thinking. Yeah, we're getting up there, right? 60s somewhere. So he's not necessarily in the best of health, I don't feel like, but he's definitely still alive. How much longer he'll be alive, I don't know. I don't think very long because he actually, what I see is he sold his soul. Okay. He's one of those that they got a hold of him, and I don't think he ever stood a chance in reality. I feel like the time from the time he was little, because he's not on the other side, I can still tune into his energy. That does not stop me. And I can also see what his higher self wants me to know and what spirit wants me to know. Okay. I feel like his whole life was a lie. I feel like, first of all, he was not into women, and that's what they're telling me. He is not. He is homosexual, whatever you want to call it. He is gay. He is not into women, and he is also part of the darkness. I keep hearing Illuminati, Illuminati, Illuminati. So I do feel like they got a hold of him. I feel like his mentality started going at a very young age. I feel like he had an issue with being, I truly feel like for whatever reason he wanted to be white. I don't know why he would want to be white. I feel like he was trying to almost in a way break away from his family, and it was just really very strange things going on with him, and that's how I feel like he almost did have multiple personalities. And he does go by another name to which they would not tell me. They would not tell me his name. They just said that he is under another name. He is still alive. And it's probably because he's still alive that I was not allowed to know his name. They are probably putting energy towards that. Okay. He was a member of the Illuminati. I feel like definitely got taken over here by the Illuminati. Now I'm gonna also tell you, please don't shoot the messenger. There was that huge sexual scandal, okay? And it started coming out. And the name that I got was Macaulay Culkin, and he did molest that boy. For many years, is what I'm hearing, but that's not the only one. He was guilty. He was guilty. He crossed lines, is the way they called it. And he did it to multiple children. Now, again, he was protected, okay? And this is why he felt like he could just be almost non-complacent about it, non-compliant, non-complacent. He just didn't see any harm in things. He was quite a strange soul. Okay, now here's another thing that I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing as I'm talking to you guys. So I see his family. His mother was in on it. His father was in on it. I think Latoya Jackson was in on it, and Tito. Tito, Latoya, his mother and his father. Tito, Latoya, his mother and his father. Okay. Now the reason why they were in on this is because they really did sue the doctor. The doctor may have thought he killed him. So this is how I'm seeing it play out. Okay, the doctor, whoever this person was that would give him his propofol, fentanyl, whatever the hell it was, right? They had somebody else come in and say, "Oh my God, he's dead," and I feel like it was just a setup. It was a setup, completely a setup. And so the doctor may have actually thought he died. They did sue him on purpose. They wanted money. There's a reason why they didn't press other charges, right? Like murder charges, I don't think they did. I think what they got was a criminal suit, a civil suit or something like that against this person. This is what I'm seeing. It was money related. It had nothing to do with trying to make this person pay for his death necessarily, other than they were trying to financially benefit. They owed a lot of money. Then he like got a lot of public attention from his death, not to mention he got removed from the public. So the reason he really truly wanted to do this was to get out of the public eye. He didn't want to be scrutinized anymore. He didn't want to live in the public eye anymore. It was very overwhelming for him. He couldn't escape it, couldn't escape it. It was constant. It was constant. It was constant. And there's only one of those kids that I would say maybe might be his. The rest are not blood related. For sure. I think Blanket might actually have some of their blood in him. However, I think the rest do not. And that's what I'm seeing here as well. He is alive. He lives in Canada and Puerto Rico. I don't know if he was a citizen of Canada at one point prior. I feel like he's been in Canada for a very long time, but he also goes to Puerto Rico. So why those two came about, I don't know, but he is not dead. He is very much alive right now. I feel like he's got maybe a limited time left because of the fact that he is part of the darkness. Again, he was one of those who felt like he was protected, so it didn't really matter what he did. And he just, it was, they wanted him out of the public eye. I think the family wanted him out of the public eye. The family kind of wanted out of the public eye that way. but it was also a way to get money, right? Because then they were able to turn around and sue that doctor for a lot of money. And I do think they did get some money for that. Okay. Then they also turned around and quote, this is what I'm hearing as I'm giving it to you. I'm kind of channeling it live. I'm hearing quote unquote missing music, like they discovered music of his or something, quote unquote. I don't think it was missing at all. What they're telling me is I feel like he was actually recording the music in real time. Then they were releasing it saying that it was like found music of his. I think that happened. I don't know. In the media, I don't know. In the public eye, I don't know. This is what I'm hearing right now. So if that actually happened in real life, then there you go. Okay. I don't remember that happening. I don't know why they're telling me that, but that is part of what they want me to say. So he wow, this is quite scandalous stuff, right? Like this is, I thought I was going to hear, yeah, he died, he's buried here. Nope, he did not die. So that tells you something about that Tyler Henry guy. I always liked him and I thought he was connected, but now I'm beginning to think that part of that celebrity status that he's holding, because he's like the celebrity psychic, I feel like that one was possibly set up. Okay. Do I think all of his stuff is a lie? No, I actually do think that guy was connected. Tyler, I really like that guy. So I'm a little bit dumbfounded here because he did a show, I think it was with Janet Jack, one of them, and he supposedly channeled Michael. Michael is not on the other side at all. Okay. At all. I can guarantee you this. This is not the first time I've channeled this and looked into that and tried to feel into his energy. He is absolutely unequivocally not dead. However, I feel like he's not even a soul anymore. Like that multiple personality keeps tapping in, and look at all these pictures, right? Like let's look at all these different images of him. How many different images of him are there? And each one, he looks like a total different person. So which one was the real Michael? The real Michael was lost at 6 years old. That's what he is saying. So what I want to do, he is saying right now, I'm hearing right now, he was lost at 6 years old. Now, wasn't he in, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's him at 6 years old. He's on America's Got Talent. I had no idea. Um, he said this is when he became lost. Maybe that's not him. Let's see. Okay, here we are. So I'm like, that's not, I don't think America's Got Talent was alive then. I don't know. That's a little weird. Okay, so I'm thinking, look at this one. These are like all Michael Jackson wannabes. So hang on. Hang on now. Hang on. I need to see Michael Jackson when he was 6 years old. This looks like more like what he would look like. Yes, yes. I'm hearing yes, yes, yes. Okay. So that is closer to Michael Jackson at 6 years old. And wasn't he part of the Jackson Five, right? A, B, C, easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby, and do, re, mi, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl. That was Michael Jackson. That was Michael Jackson. Take a really good look at that face. Take a really long, hard look at that face. This is when he became lost, was when he was about 6 years old. So I'm thinking that is maybe possibly when they really went big, possibly. And then if you look at that, and you can start to see it fade, you can start to see him change completely. Like he just took on all these different personifications, is what I'm feeling like. I feel like psychologically speaking, he was fucked from day one, my dudes. Like he was just not okay from day one. Like, look at this image right here. I think that was a painting of him, but it kind of represents what I'm talking about. So look at that was him, and then all of a sudden he started going way different. He tried to claim he never had surgery. See this one? I feel like he took on every personification of what he would put on stage. Does this make sense? So we've got a little bit of Thriller in him. He's got a little bit of Jackson 5. I feel like he lost that a lot. Like, look at this image to that image. y'all, this guy has changed like so many times, right? So who was the real Michael Jackson? That is the question. He said up until he was 6 years old. When he was 6 years old is when things started changing. Okay. That's when I feel like he broke off into multiple people. I feel like he broke off where psychologically he broke. Psychologically, he broke at 6 years old, is what I'm hearing. Okay. And he's acknowledging this. Like, I feel that very strongly. If you look at these two different images, like, what the WTF? Where did he go? That is not wow, right? Like, wow. He tried to say he had vitiligo. I'm hearing no, he did not. He did not have vitiligo, is what I'm hearing. He started bleaching himself. I feel like he didn't want to be black anymore for whatever reason. I do feel like he was possibly sexually molested himself. Okay. And I don't know why I'm pointing like the father, but I do feel like he was not treated right from the get go. His family dynamic was absolutely jacked. Like, look at this. That looks like a female. That does not even look like him anymore. That looks nowhere near like Michael Jackson. The only remnants might be the eyeballs without all the makeup. Like, holy majoli articholi. And how did he get this major indent in his chin? Did he always have that? Like, I'm like, I've never done this before. I've never really investigated, but now I'm like totally curious. Did he have that indent in his chin his whole life? Let's look at some older pictures, shall we? Let's investigate this. Ah, he did. He kind of did. Yeah, yeah. And you can kind of see. So that really truly is him. It really truly does still have the facial structure. Like, it really does. There's still the facial structure there. It just seems to be a little bit worse, right? Whoa, creep status there. Like, that look right there is like, Lord help me. That look right there is like, if you only knew me. Right? Like, that's kind of a creep status look. I'm just saying. Um, anyways, I didn't expect all this to come out, but he absolutely did molest Macaulay Culkin. He is guilty. He did it. He is guilty. That's what it says. And Macaulay Culkin came out loud and clear. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember hearing something about that. Wasn't Macaulay Culkin one of the? I don't think he was accused. I don't know. I don't remember. It's not anything I've ever focused on. I was never about social media and stuff like that. I was a big music fan. I managed Sam Goody when I was like 19. Music is my life. But I didn't like study their lives, right? But I do remember hearing something about Macaulay Culkin, and so I wasn't surprised when that came out today. He was absolutely gay. That's what I'm hearing. He was homosexual. He did not like women, and the family did not want that out. And I feel like that's why he had arranged marriages. Okay. They were arranged marriages. It's just nobody wanted to stay because he was an absolute strange breed. All right. However, I do believe the whole child molestation thing was not just him. Okay, this is like Illuminati status. This really truly is. And that's what I wrote down. He's part of the darkness, and I keep hearing Illuminati, Illuminati, Illuminati. Um, I feel like he wanted to take on every persona of everything he had on stage. It truly was his multiple personalities. So you've got Thriller, you've got like all these, and look at the images. He started molding into these different personifications. He really struggled. You know what I'm seeing is like the glass was shattered in his mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're looking on the inside of somebody's mind, and it's like a window into their mind, I feel like his mind was shattered like glass. Is that making sense? And then if you look at this, like, I mean, come on, like, he was a handsome dude without everything else. Well, not that one. Let's not go there. 6-year-old Michael looked like a real person, and he was a black man. And like, nothing. I'm not racist at all, you guys. I feel like though he shouldn't have tried to change that. Like, there was something wrong with that, and that's what they're making me feel. Like, that was not normal. He was definitely struggling. He was crying out for help, but he didn't know how to cry out for help because everybody would just tell him to shut up. Okay, because he was the king of pop. Everybody it was all about his money. They all capitalized on his money, which was also part of his staged death. They're calling it a staged death. And what did I say? His mom, his dad, Tito and Latoya, Mom, dad, Tito Latoya. Mom, dad, Tito Latoya. Very much so knew it at the time. They were involved in it. There we go. So when he was young, he says when he was 6 is when the glass started shattering in his mind. Because I feel like he was abused. I feel like, and it wasn't necessarily by his dad. Maybe it was. I don't know. They're not giving me that answer for sure. It's like, shut the fuck up. Basically, this is the feeling I have. But it was definitely okay. It was something they was acceptable and you're gonna do it. This is like us grooming you. You are a part of this society. You are a part of what is going to bring us lots of fame and lots of money because he had it. He had it more than his family. He had it, right? But there's other famous ones too. He, though, was the absolute focus. Now, look at that. That is a total different person than what you see, right? And you can absolutely tell he broke. You can absolutely look at this man and tell he broke. Now, I do feel like he looks totally different now. He is confirming that he was spotted at one time. Somebody did think they spotted him and they did. But they just hushed it. He was like, no, they made it to be a false report. I also saw something about they saw pictures of his dead body, but they've been removed. That's also false. This was staged. Is that blanket? That look at that boy. That boy, I feel like is actually part somewhat has something. This is the only kid that I would say might actually possibly be somewhat related. How, I don't know. Okay, because he didn't like women. Michael didn't like women. I can't repeat that enough. Michael didn't like women. And you can kind of look at him and tell that, right? Like he definitely had a persona of a female. Like I feel like he really, if you want to call him transgender, like he is that without being that. Like look at that. Okay, he did not like women, and I feel like the family wanted him to personify something different. Oh gosh, look at that. Look at that. Does that even look like the same man? That definitely looks like a broken man. This man did a lot of stuff to his, he was constantly trying to escape who he was. Look at it. It's not, he was very ill. He was very ill. Okay. And he wanted out of the public eye. He couldn't handle it anymore. It broke him. He was a broken soul. He was a broken soul. Look at his face. Look at his eyes. You can see it. It makes so much sense to me now. I've never looked at it this way. I never really fully channeled him before. He wanted out of the public eye, and the family took it as a money opportunity because he owed money. He was being scrutinized. The crap he was doing was getting harder to hide. Okay. And with the Illuminati, they helped do this. Like this is what they do. Okay. And they all benefited from his supposed quote unquote staged death, right? His death, quote unquote. But he is still alive in another name, under another name, and they won't tell me the name. They don't want me to know. I'm not allowed to know. Um, Whatever. I don't really care to know, but I can tell you he's in Canada, but he also goes to Puerto Rico. He's in Canada, but he also goes to Puerto Rico. Okay. So I'm gonna see if there's anything else they want me to tell you guys about him. His brain was like glass shattered. I can't reiterate that enough. From the time he was 6, it started shattering like glass. Like there was so much what you want to call torture. He was tortured. He was broken. He wasn't allowed to be his own self. He wasn't allowed to do anything like a normal child. And this is what he is saying. He was absolutely broken from the time he was 6 years old. That is a key time frame. Okay. I can't repeat that enough. I keep hearing 6 years old was a key time frame. It's not like they're trying to take away what he did. But it's like he never had a chance. He never had a chance to be normal. Look at his face. Look at his eyes. You can see his eyes are crying out, get me out of here. I need help. His eyes are crying out, I need help. And I feel like they knew that if they kept him in the public eye anymore, it wasn't going to be a good thing. Like, look at that. That's not even the same as his self. You see? He was trying to take on all of these characters. He thought that's what he had to do. And he didn't know ever who to be in the public eye. And he was definitely feminine, you guys. He did not like women. And I feel like the family was absolutely against that. And they didn't like that. Oh my gosh. You see what I'm saying? I never saw that image of him. Did you? He's trying to look like Rhonda, somebody famous there that's not a male. That is very strange. I've never seen that image. So maybe he does go around just as a woman sometimes now. Maybe that's why I'm being drawn to that. I'm not sure. I wouldn't put it past him. Okay. But he is definitely not into women, and the family didn't want that to be known. All right. And so they were trying to make him normal. Um, I don't feel like he molested his own kids, but then again, they're not his own kids, all of them. So you might want to look into that. I don't know. It's whatever. It is what it is. Something definitely flipped. Okay. He is just not well. This man was not well. And he was known as the key. So the family, what the family did is they created this monster. That's what I keep hearing. They created a monster. They shattered his brain at 6 years old. Okay. He actually, it became like shattered glass. So as a psychologist, that would definitely be multiple personalities, is the way I'm going to put that, right? Like he had so many different pieces inside of his brain and he couldn't fit them all together to make sense. None of them would fit together to be cohesive. You could call it multiple personalities. You can call it schizophrenia in a way, like sociopathic type stuff. Okay. And he didn't like women, and the family didn't like that. They forced him to marry or pretend to be married or whatever you want to call it. They tried to make him look normal. They tried to make him do things to stand out in the public eye. And so they created this individual. And so that's what he was always trying to do, was to be what everybody expected them to be one of those pieces of glass at every moment in time. Now, these, I've never seen these images before. What WTF, right? Like, what the heck is going on there? So, you can call him becoming transgender right before our eyes, but they would never classify it as that. But look, he is literally becoming transgender right before our eyes. And why anybody didn't say that, I don't know. Well, look at that image, is rather strange. I haven't ever seen half of these images before, ever. I didn't know he ever looked like that. I saw the crazy looks in the end, right? There was a lot about him. Okay, and so he did like to play with kids a lot. I guess you can call it that. That's why Never Neverland was, a thing. Okay. And so this is your king of pop, all right? Almost like, how with boy bands, they're kind of fake. They were created by those people who just wanted to make mass hysteria and make a lot of money and push certain music and things like that. And I feel like this was all him. He was fake. It was not who he was. And I feel that in him, and that's what broke him. It was never who he was. It was never who he truly wanted to be. Don't get me wrong. He says he ended up liking the fame to some degree because people would like bow down to him. People were like throwing their lives at him. It was an insane amount of fame. And so he may have liked it, but at the same time, it broke him more, and it broke him more, and it broke him more until they did stage his death. It was absolutely staged. Okay. And yeah, there's songs of his I really like too, and I still play them on my thing. And oh my God, he's with a Black Panther. That is my spirit animal. Is that a Black Panther? It kind of looks like it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's music of his I liked too. And it's almost like, was he an evil person? I don't like that word. First of all, I feel like when he was before 6 years old, no, I really truly feel like he was a good soul. I feel like he had a big heart, and I feel like he had dreams and ambitions, and I don't think it had anything to do with being the king of pop. I truly feel like they molded him and pushed him and made him and broke him. His mind started to become shattered at the age of 6. 6 years old. That's a long time of shattering the mind and being created this monster. Okay. Seriously. I gotta look at this blanket because he's standing out to me. He is standing out to me as the only real true heir. Hang on here. I know he has other kids. Please don't get me wrong, but this kid has always stood out to me as the one who could possibly absolutely be somehow his kid. Do I think he may have had sex with this woman? I don't know. Maybe he tried. Maybe he donated sperm. I'm not exactly sure. This kid, who is his mother? That's what I want to know. Let me type that in. This is really good stuff. I've never just kind of no image. The surrogate mother of Michael Jackson's 7-year-old son, Blanket, is a Mexican nurse named Helena. So Mexican and African, African American. Because we all know Michael was not white. But he really doesn't seem to resemble anything African American, does he? So it kind of makes you wonder. But I am feeling like this kid is the only one who has blood ties. What exactly the blood ties are, I don't know. But he is the only one that has blood ties to Michael Jackson's family. Take that for what it's worth. Out of all the kids, this is the one. And look at the nose. Look at his nose. No, not that nose. Not to that nose. Let's see here. Is that the mother? Mother and biological father. Jackson remains one of the most famous names in Hollywood, even though the most famous of the Jackson died in 2009. There's not a kind that can easily ebb away. Exactly. Even some of his siblings, especially his sister Janet, are still in the business and have enough real talent to be successful even without family ties. You see what I'm saying? So they were all living basically off of him. The third sign of Blanket Jackson, currently called BG or BG, is Pisces. He was born on February 21st in La Mesa, California. Youngest of Michael Jackson's children, and his two siblings are Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. and Paris Michael Catherine Jackson. Blanket's birth name is Prince Michael Jackson, but his mother, Michael Joseph Jackson, but his brother, Michael Joseph, is confusingly called Prince. Yeah, it's definitely confusing. And then they call him Blanket, like WTF. He was homeschooled for his early education before joining the private Buckley School in Sherman Oaks, California. Also practices martial arts and loves to play video games. I'm really, oh, that's the one his father held from the balcony. Okay, two of Michael's children were born of his ex-wife, Debbie Rowe, while the identity of the mother of his last child, Blanket, remains vague. However, there has been speculation about his birth. One of them suggests that he was born through a surrogate mother whose identity was kept strictly confidential. Some other sources revealed her identity and claimed that her name was Helena, a Mexican nurse. Helena is said to have donated her egg, while Jackson donated his sperm through IVF. Okay. Making the late pop star Blanket, and I just got chills. Oh my God, did I get chills with that one? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I feel like this one is his kid. The other two, not so much. This one is related by blood. These two, I don't know so much. Okay, so I don't know about the Debbie. I think that was all set up. I don't think he ever liked women, you guys. So the fact that this one was through IVF, he donated his sperm. Didn't I just say that before I researched it? That he donated his sperm, and that's what I felt like. And there's your confirmation right there. And I got chills right when I said it. So I literally told you I feel like he donated his sperm. I don't feel like he slept with the mother. And the other two, if you're trying to claim he slept with the mother, you're absolutely wrong. I don't know where those two came from. Maybe they were already her kids. I don't know. Okay. Um, I literally specifically just told you that this little boy, like he donated his sperm or something, is what I felt. And the fact that I just found that through research is just absolute validation for you right there. And I got chills right when I said it. Okay. So this is true. I would believe this. Absolutely. This is his kid. And I feel like his sperm probably was donated for it. This one is bloodline. These two are not. And I will repeat that because that's what I'm getting. And look at the nose. Like, look at the nose. I'm telling you, it's not that the other two couldn't be related just because they don't have the nose. I'm not saying that. So don't take me wrong. I'm just telling you what I'm getting. And for a reason, I'm getting it. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting it, but that's what I'm getting. This is his kid. This one, look at the chin too. Look at that chin, you guys. Do the others even have remotely that chin? Let's look. That chin is absolutely genetic. You will never have a butt chin if your dad doesn't have a butt chin. Do you understand? It's highly genetic. Where did I find those pictures? I'm like, wait, here. Ah, click on one and what do you get? All kinds. All kinds, all kinds. Okay, wait. I don't know who that is. I want to see the other kid. There it is. There's the image again. Yeah, they have a different chin. Look at that. That's why I'm drawn to that. They totally have a different chin. Oh gosh, that got smaller. What the hell are you doing to me? Look at their chins. Okay. Blanket, poor kid. I'm just saying, I wouldn't necessarily want to be called Blanket. Is definitely different looking than the other two. And I would absolutely tell you this one is blood related. These two are not. Does that mean they weren't all raised by him a little bit? Well, if you even want to call them raised by him, I feel like I agree that he never grew up. He was just like a broken soul in a shell. That's what he always was. And so who they were really raised by, I don't know. Was he around them a lot? Yeah. But I would tell you that's why he probably held Blanket over the balcony. Like, look at my real son. Um, and then when you look at these two chins, they don't have the butt chin. They don't have what they call that chin. And I'm telling you right now, they're not his kids. Blanket is. Okay. I feel this 100%. And then the fact that we just looked that up and it said it right here through IVF. So that was very confirming to me. Okay. That was the information that I needed to give you on him. For whatever reason, Blanket is an absolute focus for me. I don't think Blanket is, I feel like he's a good soul. Okay. So far, right? Let's get him. I wish we could like break him free, but BG, they call him BG. Why would they call him that? Poor kid. So all of his kids were like named after other famous people, right? Paris, Michael, Catherine Jackson. Blanket's birth name is Prince Michael Jackson the second. Um, you think that's a coincidence? We've got a junior, and then we've got Prince Michael Jackson the second. Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. is confusingly called Prince. That's rather strange. However, this is the one I feel like is definitely related. And when you look at the chin, I would guarantee that's the case. Okay. The other ones, I don't know where they came from. I don't think they're biologically his. All right. I don't think they're in the family anywhere. But Blanket is definitely Michael's. Okay. And that's what I'm getting. That's all I'm getting on him. He is absolutely alive in Canada and or Puerto Rico. He travels between the two to remain unseen. So I feel like if he's in Canada too long, he wants to go to Puerto Rico and he goes back and forth. And I don't feel like, I mean, he's gay. I don't see him with another female. He's definitely had multiple partners. Okay. And I feel like he is still like he's 12 years old. Period. And he may actually dress like a woman more than you would think. I feel like that's probably how he hides out a lot. I mean, he's got to be what, mid 60s now? So, Blanket, though, definitely related. He is a blood heir. I'm not denying that at all. Okay. Despite rumors about who fathered the boy, we can reveal Jackson is his biological dad. I do, and maybe that's why it's coming up because I've never really looked into that at all. I'm just telling you what I'm getting in real time as I'm channeling it. Okay. Michael Jackson is a broken soul of multiple personalities, if you want to call it that. That is what I would relate to multiple personalities. It's like your brain shatters into pieces and you kind of take on personas of different things for different reasons, right? So, like his family would make him do these things, his family would make him be different things at different times. And that's what he did. Okay. And that's just kind of how he became what he became. All right. So yeah, that is his son. Absolutely. That is his son. The other two have been claimed to be, they're just not biological. And that's how I feel about it. Okay. You can kind of see that. You really can. It's very interesting. That does not have any resemblance at all. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, maybe those kids know, but they still consider themselves his kids, right? But I'm telling you, the biological descendant is Blanket. I don't like calling him Blanket, but that's what they call him. And he doesn't resonate with Paris either. That's probably why he goes by BG. It just makes me think of the Bee Gees. Anyways, you can just tell. Like, look at that little boy. You can so tell, and you can tell the other two are not the same. That's not his kid. That is his kid. This is interesting because I've never tuned into it before. Where's the chin? Where's the chin? That chin will absolutely pass on to every descendant he would have. Okay, understand? It is a high genetic trait. So keep that in mind. But when you look at Blanket, you can't mistake it. And the nose and the eyes, there's definitely something there. Okay. So it is what it is. I give you what they want me to put out. Yeah, look at that. Blanket does look like that, doesn't he? Let's see. Let's go back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't think you want to see my face. That's not what we want to see. Go back. Oy vey. Oh, I need a side by side for him and Blanket because stop it. Stop it. Go away. Go. Vamanosa. Go back up into your thing. Okay. I need a side by side. I really do. I'm telling you, that's his kid. The others, not so much. Okay. Why it's coming out, I don't know. I give you what is in the energy. I give you what they want you to know. It was absolutely staged. If anybody's an heir to his throne, it would be Blanket, not the other two, biologically speaking. In the will, could be different. However, I think the mother, the dad, Tito and Latoya, are definitely not. Those are the names coming out here for not in the light. Do you understand? Okay. And he gave up started selling his soul by the age of 6. So that's against free will. So that's why it's also sticking out to me that he was not a bad, look at that's Blanket. Oh my gosh. That looks just like Blanket. Slightly bigger nose. Dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyways, I get stuck on that. Just because I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. This is juicy. This one's juicy for sure. So thank you to the energies. Again, they won't give me a name at all. They're like, get the hell out of my energy when I ask the name. They don't want me to know that. They don't want people to find him. He's already on his way out, unfortunately, because I don't think he's capable of doing the healing he needs to do. I do feel like he was very controlled, very manipulated until his mind shattered at about the age of 6. Okay. I do also feel like he was sexually abused. So again, I'm just reiterating the stuff they want you to know. It doesn't give him an excuse to turn around and do that. It's just what made him think things were okay. All right. Macaulay Culkin is sticking out here. He did it. He is guilty. He crossed lines with many, but definitely with Macaulay Culkin. I don't know if that was, I think that may have been a question in the past. I don't really have any idea. It is absolutely the case. Okay. Thank you all for joining me on this one. This one was definitely a lot of fun for me to do. I enjoy doing all of them, especially when I get to set souls free. I did not get to set any souls free here, but I feel like I answered lots of questions. And for some reason, Blanket to me really, really stands out. There's something special about that kid. And I got chills when I said it. That kid is not darkness. There's something special about Blanket. Do you understand? I'm just telling you what I'm getting. I'm not incorporating on the other two, except for I can tell you the other two are not his. And the fact that they confirmed it was through sperm donation, and I said that prior, there's something to do with that. Okay. So much love to all of you. I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me on another version of my series, Shining Light into the Darknet.